Pillar to post and coast to coast, this is The Law.
Live audio wrestling.
Back here on the show, everybody, we're getting set for NXT TakeOver that is going down next Saturday night from Orlando, Florida. It will be headlined by Shinsuke Nakamura challenging this man, the NXT Champion Bobby Roode, who is back on the program. Peterborough's own Bobby Roode. How are you, Bobby?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Doing fantastic. This is obviously the biggest weekend of the year, and I wanted to start off by just going 1 year ago and where you were in your head at this moment. I mean, you made your appearance in Dallas last year, but there were a lot of questions about the future of Bobby Roode. Does this give you a chance to kind of look back at where you were a year as opposed to this one where you're going in a featured match WrestleMania weekend?
Absolutely. I thought about it all the time. Last year at this point, really on the fence and not really knowing what my future really held for me. And, obviously being in Dallas on WrestleMania weekend was a huge eye opener for me. And one of the things that at this point last year that I didn't have was passion for the business. And I really wanted to get that back. And, being in Dallas last year, being at NXT TakeOver Dallas, and then being a part of the WrestleMania weekend, and just kind of taking it all in was very refreshing, and was an opportunity for me to get that excitement back again, and to get that passion back in me to do what I love to do. And from sitting in the front row watching Shinsuke Nakamura's debut that night to now, 365 days later, walking into NXT TakeOver Orlando on WrestleMania weekend in the main event as the champion, defending it against Shinsuke is pretty wild.
When did the conversations begin between you and WWE? Was it that weekend in Dallas? Had there been anything prior to that?
Very small prior to that. I mean, there was only about a week or two from the time I left TNA to WrestleMania weekend. So there were very minor talks, but, when I got to Dallas, I had a quick conversation with Triple H, and nothing was concrete, so I kind of just took in everything that was there, and, met some of the guys and got to reconnect with guys like Samoa Joe and Austin Aries at the time, and who I've worked with in the past, and just kind of get a feel for everything. And then, obviously, I really and truly felt like that was the place I needed to be, and fortunately for me, I was given the opportunity, and here we are 365 days later.
Being one of the focal points of NXT over the past year, give me a sense in the locker room. Is there almost a pressure on all of you guys that here NXT it became this thing, and it just grew in popularity, and suddenly you're going to the Barclays Center and you're going to major arenas. Do you guys feel that pressure that you've got to keep it at that level, if not exceed what was previously beforehand with the locker room?
Well, I mean, obviously the bar has been set pretty high for, by guys like, Finn Balor and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and, obviously the girls' side, Charlotte and Bayley and people like this, before, a lot of us really got to NXT, especially myself. So, the bar has been set pretty high by those people, and really turned NXT into a brand, basically. It's a touring brand now, and from the time that I started, last summer to this point, even now, I mean, it's grown. So, like I said, it's a third brand. It's no longer known as a developmental territory. We're doing live events, outside of Florida, which is just started this year. Doing international tours, and like you said, I mean, selling at the Barclays Arena, selling at the Amway Arena, in Orlando for TakeOver, the Air Canada Center, packing people in and selling tickets and selling merchandise, and it's just a great thing to be a part of. And the pressure it comes with what we do. You know what I mean? I think if you couldn't handle the pressure, then I think we're all in the wrong business. So I think we thrive on it, and I know I do, and forward to the challenges.
The mentality, I'm sure, for a lot of the performers in NXT is developing their skills, getting more comfortable, and one day moving on to Raw or SmackDown. I don't feel that's the case with you. I feel you could be put on on Raw tomorrow, and you wouldn't miss a beat. And is that the ultimate goal for Bobby Roode? Are you content if NXT is this and you are in kind of that leadership position and kind of spearheading this promotion?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's to be a face of a brand is pretty special, and I think anybody in this business that's hasn't had that opportunity would give their right arm to be in my shoes. So it's a great opportunity. I'm enjoying every minute of it. Don't get me wrong, but obviously I'd be lying if I said that I didn't want to go to the main roster. I mean, obviously that's the goal for everybody, and I mean that's the way the system works, and hopefully one day I'll be either on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown Live. But right now I'm very happy and quite content, being in a leadership role and being the champion on NXT and being able to main event shows and to be in the ring with top guys and continue to learn. I mean, it's a learning curve for me too. I mean, I've been in the business for almost 2 decades, but the WWE is a different animal, and I'm continuing to learn the system and learn different things and learn things that things that were never taught to me before, and then just the small little minor things, but the minor things that mean a lot in this industry and in your performance. So, obviously, the goal is to one day be at WrestleMania, to main event at WrestleMania. So I think you have to continue to have goals in your career and not just be happy where you're at. So, but right now, I mean, when you look at it, 365 days ago, I'm sitting there as a fan in the front row, and now I'm the world champion and main eventing the biggest takeover of all time. So couldn't be happier.
You and Shinsuke Nakamura had a phenomenal match back in January. Tell me a bit about just the immediate reaction you had to that match afterwards. You guys went out there, I mean, between entrances and everything, you're out there 35 minutes closing a show, and it was a tremendous outing. Was that evident to you right away, reflecting on that first match?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was pretty special. Shinsuke and I both bring a lot of experience to the table, and our styles kind of, I guess when you stand back and look at it, our styles are kind of different, completely different, maybe. So there was obviously a clash of styles there, but I think with our experience, we were able to adapt to each other's styles and go out there and have a hard hitting, a real physical battle and tell a great story. And yeah, I was extremely happy with the match. Obviously, coming out, the champion was a dream of mine, and it kind of sets the table for TakeOver Orlando. I mean, the excitement around the rematch between Shinsuke and I is pretty high, and I think that we set the bar fairly high in San Antonio, and I think that we're going to go out there and crush that bar and take it to a whole new level.
Last question. Kurt Angle's going into the Hall of Fame, Bobby. Do you know if you get to attend the Hall of Fame on the Friday night? And if you can just quickly tell us a bit about, what Kurt Angle meant during your time together in TNA.
Well, as far as the first question, I'm not too sure, to be honest. It's a busy week for us, and obviously TakeOver being on Saturday night. The Hall of Fame is the night before and tends to be quite a late night. So I'm not positive if I'm going to be there or not. But in saying that, Kurt Angle, one of the best of all time, probably, maybe one of, I can't say enough about the guy. I was, blessed to be in the ring with him a number of times, standing across the ring from him, wrestling against him, being his partner at times, and just, he's one of those guys that, I learned a lot from, just being able to become friends with him and sit beside him in the locker room and just pick his brain, or sit in a car with him and drive for a couple hours to the next town and just learn and listen to his stories. And the guy is one of those guys, and it's been said before, he was an Olympic athlete, and he was able to, transition, that Olympic wrestling into professional wrestling, which is not easy. And he became one of the best. So my hat's off to Kurt, and I couldn't be happier for him. He's finally coming back home to WWE and taking his rightful spot in the Hall of Fame.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Next Saturday night, NXT TakeOver, 8 Eastern on the WWE Network, headlined by Bobby Roode and Shinsuke Nakamura. Thanks so much for this time, Bobby. All the best.
All right. Thank you.